All right, Shalom. I want to say call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders at GMS who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing this work with true sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Mahashem Yahweh Shai. I did a lesson earlier, man. Crazy. Got in the car. Weirdest thing happened. The whole thing didn't record, man. Just do a quick lesson. I had to come back to work. But nonetheless, the show must continue to go on. But here it is. The Lord is sending out his warning, to his people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who've been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet because of disobedience, because of the great offense that we caused before our power, and following after idols, worshiping other so-called gods, which are no gods, and carrying on the customs of these heathen nations. But nonetheless, the Lord has set up men to go out on the highways and byways and the hedges to be a beacon of light, if you will, to his people Israel, so they can wake up and realize and remember themselves. You are the biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the 12 lost tribes that the Bible speaks of. But nonetheless, 2/3 of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not going to listen to sound doctrine. But nonetheless, you can't say you didn't know, or I haven't heard, or, well, I didn't see Moses, none of all that stuff. No, everything is spiritual, man. And that proves the God of this world has blinded the minds of the people, because Jake is foolish, man. But nonetheless, right here in Proverbs, this old Tuesday special, I would call it, out here in Dallas, some time back, in the Proverbs 1:21, where it says, and it's crazy up here at the top, it says, no, I'm going to start at 21, where it says, no. Proverbs 1:21, it says, watch this at the top of that, 21. Wisdom warns. The wisdom of the world is not warning you of the things to come. The wisdom of the world is not telling you that the RFID chip, right? The wisdom of the world is not telling you the resources thereof are going to be scarce and it's going to lead to a famine. The wisdom of this world is not telling you that hyperinflation is about to take place. The wisdom of this world is not telling you that you shall desire to go into another city and will not be able to. The wisdom of this world is not telling you about martial law. And the wisdom of the world not telling you about the top elite banking families' plans that they have for the people in this country and around the world. They want to see help everyone. But nonetheless, the men of the Lord, whom the Lord set up to give those men his secrets and to his servants, the prophets, to tell you these things and to give you this message. So right here in Proverbs 1:21, it says, wisdom cry. I'm going to get all this in the NLT. Proverbs 1:20 in the NLT. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. And again, that's you seeing the men of the Lord, whom the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, has set up to go out on the highways and byways, if you will, to lift up this standard, which is the scriptures, and to show his people that transgression. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Nonetheless, in the public squares where you seeing the men of the Lord being told to go out with the secrets that the Lord revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, to give you this warning, man. So it says, wisdom shouts in the streets. Because back in the day, you had your we call them poor righteous teachers. You had your, your Muslims, the Fruit of Islam, and other guys who thought they knew wisdom out on the street corners at one time, but they didn't have their breath in them that goes into, like the dead bones in Ezekiel chapter 37. They didn't have their breath. They was out there standing for a cause because they was tired of the oppression that was brought upon the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but nonetheless, not to this magnitude because the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Abshai, wasn't with it. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gates, meaning those that go out to and fro of the city, conducting business, so on and so forth, right? Then it says, how long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? talking about the Lord's people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because for one, you're running around this planet not knowing who you are. You don't know what your nationality is. You don't know why you've been scattered. You don't know why you're in the condition that you're in today. But the man of the Lord is here to tell you that you are those people and why you're in the conditions that you're in and continue to be in the conditions that you're in, man, until you're awake out of sleep, alluding to the book of Romans. So he's saying, how long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? Because you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native America are very simple-minded people, you see? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Because you're wise when it comes to doing wickedness, and you're wise to the wisdom of this world, you know, because the God of this world has blinded the minds of the people with false wisdom, pseudoscience, lies, deceit, deception, you know, and then you get paid for the knowledge of this world because you keeping afloat this world by you going to their schools and getting paid. You keeping on the lie, but you don't even realize because you've been trained by the oppressor that you need to make this money to live and to do XYZ, not knowing you have a kingdom prepared for you, not knowing you are the sons and daughters of Yahweh, Bahashim Abishai, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have everything promised to give them to us, man. So why would you want to keep afloat some wicked kingdom like this over a piece of paper for us as a degree and working at the top law firm or whatever the case may be? You just keeping this kingdom thriving. And look at the wickedness that one rap, and you Christians ain't even addressing anything, man, about nothing. You see what's going on TV with Donald Trump and the way Congress is moving, the way they going to other nations, taking their resources. Y'all ain't speaking on nothing, but when it comes to the men of the Lord, you want to speak out, but you ain't got no truth, man. You know, you fools hate knowledge. It said, come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. Meaning the Lord said he'll share his mind and make you wise. Now you start to wise up when you realize what's going on in the world and who you are and why things are happening where they are, and knowing who your enemies are. First and foremost, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans don't even know who your enemies are. You look at this so-called white man as your equal. They don't give a damn about you, man. They don't want you sitting at their tables. But yet still, you still want to tap dance and sing to befriend this dude, man. He don't care about you, man. You see? When you come over here to this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you become wise and you will know how to act and be and conduct yourself in this wicked society, man. I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. The Lord is reaching out through his men since the mid-60s up until now. Time and time and time and time again, he's reaching out, but you still you regarding the hand of the Lord. You keep slapping his hand back at the end of the day. You see? And you pay no attention. You're not paying no attention because you're too busy going along with your hopes and desires and your plans on what you want to do in this world, man. You're not concerned with the plans of the Lord. You're not concerned with the Lord's people still going through all kind of tribulation and hell in this goddamn kingdom. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native America turn a blind eye, but then you'll speak out over some Trayvon Martin shit. And that other dude up in Minnesota with the cop had his knee on his neck, doing all manner of wickedness. You speak out to that, but the men of the Lord, you ain't even trying to get no understanding from. You don't want to pay no attention to that. You ignore my advice and rejected the correction I offered. He's offering correction for you to get right, but you want to get right according to your thoughts and your purpose. Like it says in the book of Romans chapter 10, you want to seek about, roughly paraphrasing, you want to go about to establish your own righteousness. Listen, the Lord haven't gave us our own free will to go about to establish our own salvation. It wasn't put out that way. You got to go through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem and Habashah, man, and listen to the men that he set up before you. You see? And you reject the correction that he's offering. Because when all hell break loose, when you can't get the resources that you normally get every day now, when you can't, again, when the prices start soaring, when people start coming to your homes, getting food and your rations, whatever the case may be, then you go wish you had been listening. That way, so when that happened, you won't have no protection. Because when the Lord was offering correction, you wasn't taking it. Right? So I would laugh when you are in trouble. You see, the time of Jacob's trouble. He's going to laugh. The Lord's going to laugh through his men whom he called out to go out and teach you, man. You shall see your teachers. Like the teachers shall not be removed into a corner anymore in the book of Isaiah chapter 30, right? So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock when disasters overtakes you. Because not feeding your family, not getting the proper, again, food, protection, water, paying your bills, lights. When the lights go off, then what you gonna do? When the Lord is offering protection unto you and correction unto you, but you're still not adhering to it. Okay? When calamity overtakes you like a storm, because it is, the enemy shall come in like a flood. The top elite banking families, the people they set up, they coming with their draconian measures. Trump gonna show a whole different side. All of them gonna show you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans a different side, man. Those horns are gonna show. Then what you gonna do? It's gonna be too late. Women, not females, out here already complaining about shit, how hard it is. So when things get even harder, then what you gonna do? Who you gonna call upon? Because sweet so-called Jesus ain't gonna come and save you. You see? The Lord said he gonna laugh when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disasters engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. Man, what they call the cannibalism is coming back, man. Your deepest and strongest imagination ever that you're afraid of, you're going to be faced with that. You see? When they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me, because the Lord will pull his men off the streets, and these videos ain't gonna be readily available like how they are now. You gonna come across some other maybe Israelite videos, but they ain't telling you what's going on. By that time, it's gonna be too late. You need to be sown in the spirit now to prepare to build up your faith. You see, the Lord is only coming back for the elect of the nation of Israel. So he's telling his people, O nation not desired, to return and repent and come and turn from your wicked ways, man. For they hated knowledge and choose not to fear the Lord. Because you look at the men of the Lord as though they equal unto you. We are, just looking at us, but you don't see the spirit of Yahweh while Yahweh resting upon these men, beginning with our apostles and elders and the bishops and the men on down before you today. You don't see that the spirit is resting upon these men. And those who listen to these videos, hey man, you better lock in. Better quit straddling the fence. Because things about to get crazy, man. The last oil shipment, I think, already came over here. So things seem to be okay now. You're able to pump your gas still, get your food. But then when prices start to shoot up astronomically high, then what you go do then? Then you're gonna want to adhere. Then you want to listen to the Lord. But that's Jake. Jake go to jail. I'm trying to get my life right. Nigga, you ain't trying to get it right before you went to jail. But that's the Israelites. That's 2/3 of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Man, you go wait till it's too late. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. That's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You don't want to adhere to the advice of the Lord, man. So therefore, he's going to laugh at your calamity, man. You see? That's what's going to take place. Soon come. That's why the Bible speaks about the time of Jacob's trouble. Wisdom is warning, man. And it's time for you, it should have been time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to take heed, man. So when distress overwhelms you, when you can't feed your family, Big Mama can't get her medication, you can't pay your light bill, the gas price too high for you to move around, you can't go buy your purse to get your hair did, your little weave, you niggas can't sell weed no more, you niggas can't go out there and commit all kind of wickedness out there no more because you're going to be stuck and confined to your environment in your neighborhood. What you gonna do then, man? Then when the stormtroopers come, then when martial law take place and they come pick your ass up out of your homes and put you in these concentration camps, then what you gonna do? And you're gonna be faced with either take this chip or death. Then what you gonna do when you should have been sown in the spirit, building up your faith the whole time versus scoffing? So Lord willing, I hope this is edifying. Until the next time I shall say, Shalom.